Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the 2019 bullet journal flip through. So this was my first year doing a bullet journal, and I wanted to start doing a bullet journal because I needed something that pretty much I can customize and that could cater to all of my organizing needs, and that's why I started bullet journaling. Also, I thought it would be a nice way for me to be creative and have a creative outlet. So I thought that I would start a bullet journal, and I'm so glad that I did. It was an amazing experience of having a bullet journal this year, and I really enjoyed it. So of course I did my at glance at the beginning of the year, and then I did my future log. Next I did my 2019 goals. I do think it's nice to see the goals in the beginning of your bullet journal. That way, looking back, I can see what goals I accomplished, or ones that I didn't accomplish, or goals that I no longer have. So I also had my YouTube ideas and my blog ideas. For my YouTube ideas, I pretty much ran out of space on that page, and actually end up doing that, all my YouTube video ideas and stuff in another journal. I noticed for my savings goals and all my growth trackers, I really didn't use those too much. If I do something like this, I might do it on a monthly basis. Also, I see that I did a blog checklist, which I never referred back to, so that's just something that I probably won't include, especially since I don't have a blog anymore. So my first spread of the year was my January spread, and I really liked how this page turned out. It was one of my first pages that I did, and I really wanted to experiment with paint and stuff like that. This was also a time where I figured out like what type of paints could work using directly on the actual bullet journal pages, and what didn't work for the bullet journal pages. Yeah, and figuring out what didn't do bleed throughs and stuff like that was something that I tested out a lot with in January. So next we did February, and February was also like really, I think it was one of those things where I was trying out something for February. So I did a Valentine's Day theme with like self-love quotes. Also, this is one of those times where I tried out a different habit tracker, and I didn't like those type of habit trackers, so I actually stopped doing that type of habit tracker and went back to the calendar layout, and that's what I've been enjoying, and that's what I use. So next is March. March is one of my favorite spreads. I love the way the spread turned out. I did a vine like plant theme, and I just love it. The colors, the green, the pinks, all mesh so well together. My habit tracker I really used a lot that month, and also my assignments and keeping track of my assignments for school was definitely big. In the month of March, I had a lot of things going on. So next I did April. This is when I started to experiment with like drawing on a different type of paper and then gluing it into the bullet journal. So I did that for my cover page. I think because I liked March spread so much, the vines and plants, I wanted to kind of do that again in some way, and so that's what April kind of translated as. It's not one of my favorite spreads, but it worked. This is my very rushed May bullet journal spread. For May, I was doing finals, trying to prepare for graduation, get everything squared away for that and all of that type of stuff. So I actually don't have a May bullet journal setup. So this will be probably the first time you guys actually see May's bullet journal, but as you can see, I didn't really use it as much. I was graduating from college, so that is why that video never made it up, but it's making a cameo appearance here. So next we have June. June is when I really started to experiment with paint and painting on a different sheet and patterns and stuff like that, and gluing it into my bullet journal. So we did like a sunflower. I wanted it to be very bright, very whimsical, very summer. Plus I was just pretty much was how I was feeling after finishing college, 4 years of college. So I was just very happy. And that's also the month I went to the Bahamas and went on vacation and really just started enjoying my summer. So this one was a great representation of that happiness. For July, I did the beach ball theme, which I think turned out really good. It's one of my favorite spreads. During the summer, I didn't use my bullet journal as much because I didn't have a lot to do when it came to like schoolwork or anything like that. So I didn't use my bullet journal as much. And so for my weekly spreads, I just used 1 page instead of 2 pages. So for my August spread, I thought that I wanted to do something like a little different. So I wanted to play with like paper prints and like having that on the background, did sunflowers on top. Again, one of my favorite spreads just because of like the use of color and just seeing it all come together. Next is my September bullet journal spread, which is probably my #1 spread that I did, which was the crystal theme. I just love the use of color in this spread, how everything turned out. I think this might have been the first spread I did where I felt like everything went right and it turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. It just was one of my favorite spreads. I really would love to do something with those color palettes again in 2020. So for October, I did my moon spread, which again is one of my favorite spreads from this year. I just love how the watercolor turned out. It's definitely one of my favorite covers. I'm really obsessed with like the night sky and the stars and stuff like that. So this was a good way to show that. I also love my mood tracker and how that turned out. And the habit tracker, I didn't use as much, but I do like the way that turned out as well. Next is my November spread. This spread for me at the time wasn't one of my favorite spreads because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do for November when it came to my cover and the layout. But looking back at it, it actually ended up turning into one of my favorite spreads, which I wasn't expecting. Especially when I was doing it, I thought that it was one of the worst ones that I did, but I am glad that I did that spread and I love the way it turned out. So lastly, we have the December bullet journal spread. It was ornament themed. That's what I want to go with, of course, because of Christmas. I love the use of pink in the spread, which I don't think I used like just straight pink in a color theme since my February spread. So also December spread has one of my favorite mood trackers. I love the tree layout that I did. Yeah, and that is it for my 2019 bullet journal flip through. This was an amazing year of bullet journaling and I love the way each spread turned out and just seeing them all filled in and all together is really nice. And I really did enjoy the whole bullet journal process. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.